President Cyril Ramaphosa's opening of Parliament address was received with mixed reactions. Leaders of the MK and EFF parties accused the president of delivering empty promises with a speech written by the DA, while the DA welcomed the president's plan to fix local government, address poverty and also attend to the high cost of living. Well, let's hear from Rise Mzansi leader. I'm joined by the party's president, Songezo Zibi, who is also SCOPA chairperson. Mr. Zibi, a pleasure to have you on the program this afternoon. So you've advocated for unity and cooperation in South Africa's political landscape. How do you assess the feasibility of achieving this unity, also given this diverse array of political parties involved in this government of national unity?
Good afternoon, and thank you very much for having me. Look, I think the electorate has given an instruction for various political parties to work together to solve their needs by not giving a majority to any single political party. I think what is really going to count between now and I would say the budget next year is the level of maturity of the political leaders that are involved in the GNU. Because an arrangement such as this means that not everybody gets everything they want, because you simply don't have the mandate to do whatever you like. So it is in the art of choosing priorities carefully, be bold in implementing them, and also deciding what can be done later or that you're going to give up.
Mr. Zibi, the president highlighted inclusive economic growth also as the cornerstone of his address. What specific measures do you believe are crucial to ensuring this growth benefits all sectors of society, particularly marginalized communities?
Look, one of the things I was really delighted about is that there were many things that the president said that are also in Rise Mzansi's own manifesto. We've said a multifaceted approach is necessary. For instance, you have to fix municipalities so that every business that is in that municipality does not have to deal with the service delivery problems that make it difficult to operate the business. The second thing that we've spoken about is crime, violent crime, especially in the province where I was born, and I still have a home in the Eastern Cape. Extortion gangs in the Western Cape and so on make it impossible to run particularly a cash business. Filling stations get closed and so on. So there are the interventions that can be made in terms of industrial policy and so on. But there are fundamentals that we have to fix. The third and last thing that the president mentioned, and there were many, is the importance of building infrastructure. Our road infrastructure is broken. Our rail infrastructure is just about beginning to recover. So if we get those basics right, we will begin to see the economy growing inclusively in the way that we want.
Also interesting, Songezo, is that the president mentioned reforms in the energy sector, but also the digital economy as being pivotal to South Africa's future growth. How can these reforms be leveraged to create sustainable job opportunities, if you will, especially for young people and women?
So one of the things that I said in the tabling of the budget vote for trade, industry and competition, for instance, apart from talking about the need to rescue municipalities, but also is the importance of driving costs down for small and medium-sized businesses in particular. And one of the things I mentioned was the need to transition those businesses as fast as possible from reliance on Eskom energy, on fossil fuels, onto renewable energy sources like solar, because that will cut a significant part of the cost that businesses incur, and together with infrastructure. Now, if you are a young entrepreneur in an area like Mthatha, for instance, you've got three problems. It's funding, it is crime, and it is the cost of running the business and the bureaucracy. And the president mentioned all four. But I also said in my input, in response to a State of the Nation address, is that urgency is the currency of the time that we live in. He needs to come back after the medium-term budget policy statement to tell us what is funded, when is it going to be done, how much money has been allocated to it, so that we in Parliament can hold him to it, because that's what parliamentary oversight is about.
In his speech, the president also discussed the importance of tackling corruption, but also improving governance in state-owned enterprises. What role do you see, Mr. Zibi, that civil society can play in really holding the government accountable in these areas?
So, I mean, let me start with my own role at Scopa as well as the other committee members, because we are going to work as a collective and
Right.
as a team. And one of the things that we need to do is to put a laser focus on the kind of behaviors and failures that we've had right across government entities, whether it is government departments or it is agencies and companies that cost taxpayers the most money. It's not necessarily the single big amount that has been misappropriated or stolen, but it's all of those little tenders and deviations that can amount to 30, 40, 50 billion, which is money that should go to other things. So we have to play that role ourselves as Scopa, not just look at specific incidents in the news, but look at the patterns that cost people money. The second thing, which is really important, there's only so much that the police, Scopa, the NPA, and so on can do. What is absolutely important is political punishment by voters and civil society for those who err. It's important that people continue to participate in the democratic processes. And certainly, as Scopa, apart from the fact that our hearings are open, we
Right.
will try and create space for civil society organizations to participate meaningfully in the processes as well.
So another viewpoint is that education and skills development is being emphasized as critical to reducing poverty and inequality. But how can the government of national unity ensure that educational reforms are effective in really preparing young South Africans for the future job market?
Look, I mean, we have to get some basics right.
Yeah.
One of these, for instance, is that kids just don't finish school. About 48% of kids who begin school don't finish at all. And that's not even a factor of the type of curriculum that you have. It's just that they suffer from stunting. There's all sorts of other obstacles. That is why, as Rise Mzansi, and I see in the president's speech, we've always emphasized the importance of communal infrastructure that enables people who are poor and have got all sorts of obstacles to be able to participate meaningfully. For instance, for kids to go to school, low cost, high quality, finish school, and so on. The second thing that we must do is to improve the post-school training system. Not every kid has to go to university, but we must make sure that over 90% of people who leave school have got a skill they can use to find employment and eventually open a business. And of course, the third is to think differently about what it means to be educated and skilled. And I think there is enough reason to believe that once young people enter grade 8, they can also choose to start entering into an artisanal or other skill so that by the time they reach matric, they are able to be employable in an economy, hopefully, that will have done better to grow.
Because of time constraints, Mr. Zibi, we won't cover all aspects of the speech, but let's talk health matters now. President Ramaphosa mentioned the national health insurance as a key initiative. What are your thoughts on its potential impact on really improving healthcare access and quality across different socio-economic groups in this country?
Look, we've always said at Rise that we believe in universal access to healthcare by every South African. The NHI is not in and of itself the silver bullet that is going to solve South Africa's health problems, but it certainly is a crucial intervention. What is really absolutely important is that we do it in a way that does not cost the fiscus too much. In other words, we do not divert too many resources from other priorities. You and I have just spoken about all of these other things.
Yeah.
We make sure people have got access to the quality care that they need, but over time, we make sure that the state remains the primary provider of quality health care to every South African.
In conclusion, Mr. Zibi, President Ramaphosa called for collective action to make South Africa a better nation. What do you believe are the key actions that individuals and communities can take to really support this vision of a corporation or a corporation nation, if you will?
The most important thing is for all of us, it's a change in attitude. And I said it in my response as well to the president, that we choose to own South Africa in this challenge.